This is a Professor, CBMD PhD, and today's Wednesday, August 6, 2025. It is 5:51 and 13 seconds, p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today's research, UFO Texas. So let's hop to it here. The first series of sightings to be widely publicized and the most intensive single concentration occurred on the 9th of November 2 to 3 in and around Levelland, Texas. The first recorded sighting was at about 10:50 p.m., the last at 1:30 a.m. In less than 3 hours, there were 10 very similar sightings within a radius of 20 miles around Levelland. Why should reddish elliptical UFOs, which cause cars to stall suddenly, be reported from one small Texas town? No one answer is apparent. Within a few hours after the last Levelland sighting, an Army Jeep patrol at White Sands Proving Grounds, about 300 miles to the west, reported an elliptical UFO, which descended and hovered. The following account of the Levelland reports was compiled by Walter N. Webb, NICAP advisor. Levelland is an oil and cotton town population of about 10,000 located in northwest Texas, 32 miles west of Lubbock and Plains Country. Early on November 3rd, Sheriff Weir Clem suddenly found himself cast into national prominence, following a rapid series of nightmarish reports. At 10:50 p.m., Officer A.J. Fowler received a phone call from a terrified farmhand Pedro Salcedo and his friend Joe Sells were driving on Route 116 at about 4 miles west of Levelland when they saw a flash of light in the field. We didn't think much about it, Salcedo said, but then it rose up out of the field and started toward us, picking up speed. When it got near, the lights on my truck went out and the motor died. I jumped out and hit the deck as the thing passed directly over the truck with a great sound and a rush of wind. It sounded like thunder, and my truck rocked from the blast. I felt a lot of heat. When the object had passed, Salcedo got up and watched it go out of sight toward Levelland. It was torpedo-shaped like a rocket and about 200 feet long. As the UFO moved into the distance, the truck lights came back on. Salcedo was able to start the truck and drive to a telephone. Fowler thought his caller was drunk and shrugged off the report. About an hour later, the phone rang again. Jim Wheeler, driving on Route 116 about 4 miles east of town, had come upon a 200-foot egg-shaped thing sitting on the road. The brightly lit object cast a glare over the area. As he approached the object, his lights and motor died. When Wheeler started to get out of his car, the UFO rose into the sky. As its lights blinked out, the car lights came back on. Another call came from Joe Alvarez at Withero, 11 miles north of town. Driving on Route 51, he had approached a similar glowing object on the road, and his motor and lights had failed. At 12:05 a.m., Noel Wright, who did not report the experience until the next day, and then only at his parents' urging, had motor trouble while driving toward Levelland on Route 116 from the east. His ammeter began jumping, the motor gradually died, then the lights went out. Puzzled, Wright got out and lifted the hood to check his battery and wires. Finding nothing wrong, he closed the hood and turned around. For the first time, he noticed an oval object sitting on the road ahead of the car. The object appeared to be over 100 feet long and was glowing a bluish green. Frightened, Wright jumped in the car and frantically tried to get it started, without success. Then he sat helplessly watching the object, hoping someone would drive up. After several minutes, the UFO rose almost straight up, veered to the north, and disappeared almost instantly. The car then started without difficulty. Meanwhile, another telephone report was made at 12:15 a.m. Frank Williams had encountered a similar object on the road, close to the position where Alvarez had seen it. He also experienced motor and headlight failure. The light from the UFO was pulsating steadily on and off each time it came on. Williams' lights went out. Finally, it rose swiftly in a noise like thunder and disappeared. Then the car functioned normally. By the time Sheriff Clem and other police officers had begun searching the roads around Levelland as reports continued to come in, at 12:45 a.m., Ronald Martin saw a glowing reddish UFO descend and land on Route 116 ahead of his truck, then turned to bluish green. The electrical system of the truck failed. When the object took off, it turned reddish again. About 1:15 a.m., James Long encountered a glowing egg-shaped object on a farm-to-market highway just north of town. His engines and lights failed. Then the object rose quickly and sped away. About 1:30 a.m., Sheriff Clem and his deputy were searching on the road near where Long had seen the UFO. Clem saw an oval light, like a brilliant red sunset, streak across the road, about 300 yards ahead of his car, lighting up the pavement. Fire Marshal Ray Jones, further to the north, had a similar experience sometime after 1 a.m. His lights dimmed and motor almost died, then started up again. The patent incident same night was uncovered during an investigation by NICAP member James Lee. 2 grain combines, each with 2 engines, failed as a UFO was observed passing. An impressive feature of these reports is that the witnesses in most cases were going about their business when the UFOs intruded upon the scene. There was no evidence that the witnesses were searching the sky or otherwise expecting to see anything unusual. Their independent reports told a consistent story. This video was created for educational purposes only. Codename Will, Professor Christopher Brunet, Leader of Research, Scientist, Ufologist, Psychic, Computer Programmer, Computer Technician, Philanthropist, Writer, Mathematician, Artist, Photographer, Film Producer, Chef, Animal, and Nature Lover. Passion, World Peace. Hope you enjoyed listening. Until next time, have an excellent day. This is the Professor's